Hello and welcome into this week's ARCA Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, we are in a hashtag Race to 1K. So if you haven't done it already, go down below, hit that subscribe button for me. It is free to do. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker we can do mobile live streaming from the track, which will vastly improve both the quality and quantity of coverage we are able to provide you when we are at the track, giving you coverage from these ARCA races and whatever other races we might happen to be at. So let's talk about today's ARCA race, the 11th of the 2020 season for the ARCA Series, the VizCom 200 from the Michigan International Speedway. 100 laps, 200 miles around the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway, Brooklyn, Michigan. This was a lot better race than I honestly expected it to be. Honestly, after practice and the beginning of the race, it looked like one certain driver was going to completely just run away with and dominate this race. A driver that picked up his first win earlier this season. It looked like he was easily en route to his second career victory today. Had probably the fastest car most of the day. I think a lot of people would have been happy with that. This would have been a very popular win, I think. 3 caution flags in this race, total of 13 laps. 2 of those being the scheduled breaks for pit stops. Only 1 caution for an incident, that being the 21 car of Chris Wright as he spun into turn 1 and backed it into the outside wall in his ARCA Series debut. That was the only caution for an incident at lap number 53. 2 drivers spent time out front in this race. 61 laps out front for the driver of the 23 car, Brett Holmes. 39 laps out front for Riley Herbst. And they traded the lead a lot in this race. Riley Herbst, starting on the pole, led the first 3 laps of the event before Brett Holmes got around him. Led the next 31 laps. Herbst led another lap off of the restart after the first break. Holmes got the lead back from him, led the next 29 laps. Then they swapped the lead a lot after the second break. They went back and forth. Riley Herbst very adamant on the radio during that second break that he was not going to finish second again. He was very tired of finishing second in these races. And to be quite fair, he has finished second a lot in the ARCA Series, has lost a lot of races that maybe he should have won. And I think, honestly, he was probably getting a little tired of seeing Ty Gibbs be so dominant in that car and him not really being able to do anything. So he went out and flat drove that thing at the end of this race. Drove away from Brett Holmes, who before that second break had clearly had the fastest car today. There was no competition for him. I think that 18 car was really the only one close to him even before the break. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if they made an adjustment on that final break that made Herbst faster than he was before, or if it was just pure willpower of Riley Herbst being so mad and refusing to finish second again. But he flat drove away with this thing and picked up his second career ARCA Series victory. It's been a couple years since the last time Riley Herbst went to victory lane in ARCA. In fact, it has been 3 years, since 2017, the last time. It has been a while. And Riley Herbst finally parked it back in victory lane today. I think this was something he really needed for his confidence going forward, both here on the ARCA side and on the Xfinity side, where he is running for a championship this year. Brett Holmes came home in a disappointing second. You could hear the dejection in his voice after this race. He wanted to win this race. He knew he had the fastest car and just couldn't do anything with Riley Herbst after that second break. He was very disappointed about it. And you finally heard him mention that this lost him some ground in the championship. He did gain ground in the championship. As you see there, Michael Self finished third. And with Brett Holmes leading laps, that gained him some extra points as well. But not as big of a gain as it should have been in the championship. And that's what Brett Holmes was dejected about. And I think we finally got our confirmation that Brett Holmes is running for the championship this year. That really had been in question up to this point, even up into this week, even after that first win at Kansas a few weeks ago. Brett Holmes still was not 100% committed to running the full season. He is going to run the full season now, and we're about to see a really good championship battle between he and Michael Self. Brett Holmes is hungry. He was absolutely dejected by finishing second today. He wants to win races. He wants to win this championship. This is a fire I don't know that I've ever seen lit under Brett Holmes. He's going to fight and claw for the rest of the season for this championship. This is going to be fun to watch. Michael Self again came home in the third position. A good run from Drew Dollar today. He's not had a lot of great runs recently, but a solid run today. Third a lot of the day. Fell back to fourth on the final restart after that second break. Still a solid run though. Fourth place. Nothing to scoff at, especially with the runs that 15 team has put together in recent weeks. They needed a good run like this to get back on track. Anthony Alfredo rounded out the top 5 in his run in that 17 car for DGR Crosley. Rest of your top 10 were Haley Deegan. She was the last car on the lead lap in 6th. Ryan Repko went a lap down late in the 20 car for Venturini Motorsports. A little bit of a disappointing day for him. Jason Kitzmiller, though, really good day for that team. That 97 Cody Robot team finally able to get a good run under their belt. He was fairly fast near the end of the race. I was pleasantly surprised to see him as high as 7th late in this race. Ended up in 8th. Good run for that team. Thad Moffitt came home in 9th, one lap down, and Armani Williams with a top 10 finish for Fast Track Racing in the 12 car in 10th. Final page 11th through 17th. We see Chris Wright down here in the 14th position. That's where he landed after his wreck in the middle of the race. So that is your results from Michigan. Again, have not seen anything about a post-race Zoom call after this for thoughts from the top finishers as of the time of recording. If we do get that, by the time we go to edit this, it will be right here. If not, let's go ahead and take a look at your point standings following this race. Michael Self does still lead the points, but it's not by much now. It is 4 points, the gap from Michael Self to Brett Holmes. This championship battle continues to heat up. They finish right next to each other every single week. Brett Holmes cannot chip into that lead too much, but ever so slightly chipping into it every week. It's gone down from 9 to 8 to 7, now to 4 points is the lead. Michael Self holds over Brett Holmes, and you could hear even in Michael Self's voice how disappointed he was after this race. Yes, he had a good run in third, but a team has just been off this year. That is a team you expect to be going out and being a contender for the win every single week. Michael Self is just that talented of a driver, and they haven't done that most weeks this year, especially since we've come back from the pandemic break. So I don't know what the deal is there. Michael made the mention that it almost felt today like he'd get about halfway down the backstretch and it felt like a parachute would just come out. He seems to think it has something to do with drag or the lower horsepower package that they're running this year, now that the rules package is more similar to what they've been using on the East and West cars for the last couple of years. So they've got to get that figured out if they want to win this championship, because as good as Brett Holmes has been week in and week out, especially since we've come back from the break, Michael Self will not win this championship running the way that he has been running. Brett Holmes will outpoint him by the end of the season. In fact, it would not surprise me to see Brett Holmes pick up at least one more win before the end of the year. He's just running that good. This is going to be a fun championship battle to watch. Drew Dollar sits in third, 41 points back. Haley Deegan, 47 back in fourth. And Thad Moffitt continues to lose ground, 78 points back in the 5th position. But that's point standings following the VizCom 211 races into the 2020 ARCA Menard Series season. Getting through the summer stretch, getting through the mid portions of the season. We've still got a lot of racing left this season. The championship battle is far from over. It's going to be fun to watch here for these final few races. I hope you are as excited about it as I am, because it is going to be a fun one to watch. Daytona Road Course coming up on Friday, of course. We will have a watch party for that. Who knows what's going to happen there? That's going to be a fun one just to see what happens there. It could be chaos. It could be wild. It could be clean. There's so many different directions that race could go because it's just such an unknown. That'll be a fun one. I hope you're excited about that one. Make sure you're there for the watch party on that one on Friday. It's going to be a fun time for that. We always have fun in those watch parties. We keep you updated, especially on these MAV TV and Track Pass races, kind of keep you updated on what's happening in the race, and then we always have a bunch of fun discussions there as well. NASCAR Heat 5 stream also, of course, coming up on Wednesday as we continue our career mode there. And then who knows what else we might see throughout the week that I might come up with for some one-off videos. So keep an eye out if you haven't already. Definitely, especially now that we're in our hashtag Race to 1K, go down below, hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. While you're down there, I want you to hit that big thumbs up button for me if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. And want to thank, as always, our Patreon supporters, President Gambit and Regional Manager William Holmes. Thank you for your continued support here at RNN. It is much appreciated. If you want to be a patron of RNN, the link is down below in the description, patreon.com/racingnewsnow. Definitely not required by any means, but it is definitely appreciated if you do that. But I think that's going to just about do it. So, at that, this has been the ARCA Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.